Alright, welcome back to Divinity Original Sins 2, and we're playing on mode plus, where there is twice the amount of enemies, but just 1/4 of the XP. Just to give you in-between proof, we're still on honor mode difficulty. You cannot change that clearly once you're on the run, but I wanted to kind of document also in between that this is not just any sort of difficulty. So, we are looking strong, guys. We are looking incredibly strong. Matter of fact, we aced most of the other challenges, and the only region left over is the northern part before we can go to Blood Moon Isle. I was reflecting a little bit, and I still haven't found a solution about how we can make the game even harder. Probably there aren't any good mods. I know there is a mod which increases the quality of the bosses that you're fighting, but I'm not sure if retroactively activating that would really do us any good. So, anyways, I'm still thinking about that. Just a short kind of for your info, really. This year is a wonderful quest. The quest, the Trial for all Seasons. It forces you to basically use certain abilities on these trees, and once you have used them on the trees, you are there are going to be enemies spawning around. There's a lot of online discussion whether or not this quest is too hard, even on the lower difficulties. So I'm going to show you one by one that it's really not that difficult, and I'll show you how it's done. Matter of fact, as always, we're going to spread out just a little bit, and since the 4 champions would come in here, there is a certain idea of getting at least 1 or 2 characters out of combat. We do have all of the elements that we need with the lows, so as a buffing character, we're going to put Beast outside of combat. On the spring tree, you're going to use blood in order to activate it. On the winter tree, we're going to use winter. Usually, it should already be okay if you're using any form of winter skill. Yep, there we go. Now it's shining. On the summer one, we're using on the autumn one, we're using storm, and on the summer one, we are using fire. Fire usually is pretty easy with the fire lance. So then the only thing that you need is really storm. And in order to produce that, I think we're going to... I'm not sure if grenades are going to be a thing, but let's try that. So all 4 need to be active at the same time. Blood will stay forever. The other 3 will take some more time. So let's just quickly do them after one another. So we have water, we do have fire, and finally we're going to do storm. It's to be... I think it needs to be a storm cloud of some sort. Okay, apparently that one didn't work, so we're going to use an arrow. That's what I normally did. So there are static cloud arrowheads and static cloud arrows, and exactly the static cloud arrows are the ones that you're looking for. So, which means we're probably going to have her in combat anyways then. Let's activate the ritual. So 1, 2, and we're using the static cloud arrowhead like right here.
You have solved the riddle and shown mastery over the seasons.
So now we are officially in combat, like it's ready, which means we are Going to take a high ground position here. Sneaking. Let's summon and then also give Lowe's all of the armor that she could get. So that's just normal preparation 1-1. There we go. We directly enter the fight. And as you can see, there are 4 enemies. And the easiest way of surviving this really is to make sure that... Oops. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The easiest way to survive this is really to make sure that you do have a proper tank. Okay? So, we tanked all of them. Easy enough. Unfortunately, we did not get our Incarnate Champion really all too fast into combat. That was a mistake, but everything else was fine. So you just need enough defense on Lowe's. Look at her. I mean, she's not even hurt, right? She has a little bit physical armor damage, and that's pretty much about it. Not very surprising, the enemies are representing their respective elements. So they have resistances according to their respective elements, which really shouldn't surprise you at all. We're going to start with an assassination. Nice little hit. And you can see he's like halfway dead. Right there. So what we're going to do with Lowe's really is... Let's up our mending a little bit. So we get the physical armor. Let's increase our weapon damage. And just wait for the onslaught. Really, it's not that difficult. If you have problems, try to take out the winter guy first. As you can see, he's having the lowest armor. We're just taking away all of his armor at one go, and afterwards we're just knocking him down. Done. He will not participate in this fight. He will simply die. This guy is, so the Autumn guy is a rogue type of character. Also easy peasy, just get him out with AoE effect. This guy here is a two-hand fighter. A little bit annoying, but yeah, nothing to really write home about. And the other 4 elders are just taunting you throughout the whole series. So also nothing to be afraid of, in my opinion. I can see how people with under-geared characters could struggle in this fight, but here's the thing. I mean, just literally buff up, and even with shitty gear, you are going to succeed. Here's, by the way, the guy who just made himself invisible. Great job, dude. You pretty much fucked that up. We are going to move in. And similar to before, we're just trying to deal the most physical damage. So both of these guys here have no more physical armor. This guy here already was shot down, shot from Lowe's, from Sibyl, sorry. So we're just going to continue to hit him. And really, I mean, what is he going to do, right? So we use the high ground. We're going to jump from one end to the other. Easy. We're even hasted now. So that's 2 down. And they did not really have a turn. It's the first time that they can do something. They take 2 shots and they completely focus on those. And that's the first time after complete focus that she lost her armor. Mind you, it was just her armor so far. So this guy here now takes a beating. Almost is gone down. That's a little bit negative feature, and a little bit of a problem. If you stand too close to one another, you're going to be affected by taunt, since armor is no longer protecting against it. That's actually the only thing that I'm worried about, that people are going to use taunt. My characters are acting stupid, so the actions that you currently see, it's not me steering them. They are using random talents, mostly shitty talents. I wish they would just buff themselves in order to survive, which would be fair enough. But instead they are, as you can see, usually not very productive. I would even say they are worse than the normal AI. Yeah, good job. First she freezes him, then she plants the trap, which deals fire damage to unfreeze him. That's the shit I'm talking about. Well, whatever. So this guy is taken out of the equation. Might as well move up. And there's basically our last threat. Taking a sky shot and taking a normal arrow, which almost killed him. Come on, Cyclone, just hit him. He's going to die. No, of course. Instead he's using adrenaline. Like a complete retard. You wouldn't even need that, dude. And now he's healing him. I mean, that's not even bad AI programming, that's outright disruptive behavior. I'm sorry. He could have just clicked him and killed him. Good, so this guy's down. I'm not even sure why Lowe's is missing skills here. That just doesn't make any sense. So, wow. She just unlearned a couple of skills. Right. Well, maybe that happened. Anyways, doesn't matter. Good. That was the trial of combat. As you can see, we got ourselves some nice little loot, plus a Phoenix Heart. Well, the loot actually was not super good. So let's fix Lowe's real quick before we move on. I'm not sure why exactly she would miss out on the most awesome skills. The whole teleportation. And why would you fill in with Farsight? I haven't even memorized that. Or have I been drunk when I was memorizing that? Ranged attack skills by 4 meters. She's... I don't even want to know. We either use that or Fire Slug. I'm also thinking about deploy mass traps because it's really a lot of damage. So, you know what? Let's go with mass traps, just for shits and giggles. I like it. It's going to be fun. Okay. So, we want to explore the northern part, and that was our very first quest. We are now very soon going to enter the abandoned sawmill, camp of lumberjacks, of evil lumberjacks rather. But before we do so, there is but one chest that we so far haven't dug out. That's the last chest here, the 4 heroes. And with that, the 4 hero quest, the guys that we killed on the graveyard initially, just finalized. Well, it's okayish gear. If you do have issues with finding gear, I'm not blaming the quest line, it is okay, but the gear is, for our purpose, it is simply not appropriate.
Skulls were left here as a warning.
Good. We are going to go into the next camp in the next video. And I'll give you an overview as of how that is done.